Tons of trade news to sort through this morning. Our reporters Lin Lin, JP Ong, and Elaine Yu will be drilling down onto all the details. Let's first get to Lin with the Japan Prime Minister Ishiba confirming some details about that tariff deal just a few minutes ago. Please run us through it.
Indeed, the Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba confirming that there is a deal that has been struck between Japan and the US. It started off earlier this morning with, as it often does, a Truth Social post from the US president saying as much. But now we have the Japanese Prime Minister saying that in terms of those 25% auto tariffs, that has come down to 15%. And clearly, when you look at the Japanese equity markets, the key sector that is rallying is the autos. The majors are all up double digits this morning as well. He didn't say anything yet in terms of the other Section 232 sectorial tariffs, and we know that local media is reporting that in terms of steel and aluminum, that has continued to be set at that 50% level. He also says that in relation to agriculture, that the deal does not include lowering tariffs on Japan's agricultural products. Keeping in mind that when we think about rice in particular, there is a minimum access framework that is in place in Japan that will stay in place. What it basically sets out is that below a certain level, and in this case it's 770,000 metric tons, it is tariff-free. Beyond that, Japan does apply a tariff in terms of rice imports, but Japan will raise the proportion of rice imports coming from the United States. Also, another key point of clarification here. In the Truth Social post, the US president spoke about more than $500 billion worth of investments that Japan will make into the United States. When the Prime Minister of Japan spoke just a few minutes ago, he said that in terms of that $550 billion number, it will be loans as well as investments. As I said, markets certainly liking this. I'm speaking to some investors who say that these are obviously the first signs that there is starting to be some certainty on the trade front. Although we still need to see more of those details, it is likely that in this case, what has been decided is some sort of a framework of a deal for the final details to be decided going forward as well.
Lin, the Japanese Prime Minister is saying that they obtained the best result among countries that have a trade surplus with the United States. And of course, this trade deal comes after a weak showing for the Prime Minister and his coalition in the upper house elections at the weekend. Does today's news change any of that?
Well, that's a fascinating question, isn't it? Because, as you say, it was a historic loss in the upper house elections, and LDP and its junior partner do not have the majority now in both houses of the Diet. The Prime Minister is under an incredible amount of pressure, both within party members of the Liberal Democratic Party, but of course among opposition parties as well. Let's go back to what he said post these results. He said in that press conference, I don't want to create any kind of a political vacuum at this very important time for Japan. And particularly, he was citing these trade talks between Japan and the US ahead of that August 1st deadline. So on the one hand, you have some people speculating that, is this now a chance for Ishiba to step down because he cited these trade talks as the reason he should stay in power. And if indeed there is a deal, then perhaps there is no need for him to be in power, given the kind of referendum that has been made on his leadership by the Japanese public. But on the other hand, we know that in that press conference, he also spoke about the fact that he needs to stay as the leader at a crucial time as the country is grappling with inflation. And also, we know that the Liberal Democratic Party has pushed back significantly on what opposition parties are calling for in terms of a cut to the sales tax as well. Now, Ishiba is due to meet with party heavyweights Suga Kishida as well as Taro Aso later today, and local media is reporting that he is set to try and make his case to stay in power.
We'll be watching those developments, Lin, and we are looking at those double-digit percentage gains for the Japanese automakers on the back of this trade deal with the United States. And just seeing here, Reuters reporting that Trump will be signing executive orders at an AI summit on Wednesday, this quoting the White House. So we don't know what those executive orders are, but of course, we've seen in past that it has been trade-related in some instances. So just the latest development there.